Right, hello. It's inset day today, so it's a bit quieter around the department, and I thought it was a good idea to talk a little bit about personal study outcomes. Now, I've had a few people speak to me this week about saying how can they improve their grade for their personal study outcome. Now, let's not forget, AO4 is about presenting a response. So the first thing that I will look at is whether the student has presented their response in relation to what they set out to achieve. So again, that response will relate to the personal study question. So whether your question has allowed you to create something as a response or an answer to that question. So that's the first thing. And that's really important. And that's justified through not only the outcome, but also the project as a whole and how that project has evolved and taken influences from their research. So the second thing we're going to talk about is research. So I will look at how the student has used the research to inform not only the aesthetical elements of their building, but also the technical elements of how it's made. Okay. So that's number one and number two. So we're talking about relating to personal study, and then we're also talking about research, which tends to be linked also. The third thing is about the actual body of work itself. So again, you've got the book and you've got the model. So when I'm looking at the model, I'm looking at, firstly, the originality of the model. So again, this is a design course, your ability to create design in 3 dimensions. Now, when we look at this model, it's original. This student had developed an original idea. I have not seen this before on this course. Obviously, I have seen outcomes similar to this in the real world, but again, not exactly the same. And I think it's very clear when you look back at the student's development work, how that development work has informed this process. And I can see how that development work has started off as an idea, and then he's used that to further refinement, and he's then worked out how he's going to make this. Now, what you can't see under here is quite a lot of different materials. So the other thing I'm looking for is the variety of material that you are using. So this student is actually using steel. He's also using 3D printing as a technique as well. He also did some brazing. He also did some 3D printing and laser cutting, and then obviously some woodwork, etc. So we've got, not only we've got multiple materials, including some textiles here, we've also got multiple techniques, including some sewing as well. So, this is a student who isn't just demonstrating your regular woods, metals, plastics. He's taking it to that another level. So when we talk about techniques and materials, we're looking at the execution, because you could have lots of materials, but you might not execute that very well. When you look at this, there is some complexity in the processes used and the shape. These are quite highly skilled techniques. So you're not going to get a very good grade if you just have a good model, but you've only used laser cutting. You have to show a variety of techniques, you have to show a variety of processes, and you have to demonstrate your capability. And this is what this student is doing here. They are demonstrating that they are able to manipulate a full range of different materials and techniques and processes to a very confident and highly developed level. There is confidence in this. And the confidence comes with the development, the experimentation, the testing, the refinement, the reviewing of ideas to come up with something that shows a full range of different materials. And you're not going to get here just by going, right, I've got an idea, I'm going to try and make it. This student has got here by showing a full range of different experimentations of materials, and he's worked things out. I've worked with him, I've talked things through with him, but I haven't shown him. I've said to him, well, maybe you could do it like this. And he's gone away and he's experimented and things haven't worked, and he's made adjustments, he's made changes. But again, that takes time. That takes time, that takes dedication, and that takes commitment. And you're not going to produce a model of this quality by not giving yourself enough time to fully investigate your earlier solutions. Because what you will do is end up with an inferior outcome, because you haven't given yourself time to explore the right techniques, you haven't given yourself time to explore the right materials, and you haven't given yourself time to develop your confidence in the manipulation and the uh, um, process of making. And that is the most important thing. So again, just to recap, personal study question, how research has informed the process, the variety of materials and techniques, and the execution of those materials and techniques. The complexity of those relating to the quality of this build represent an incredibly high standard of AO4. But again, he will also get marks for the book because he's evidencing how that review and refinement and that process of making connections to his research has informed his entire process. This is an incredibly detailed, complex, and multi-materialed model.